Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video clip. You're all very welcome. This is our weekly lesson and we're going to be discussing a story from the news. Now you'll see here I already have a news story on the screen, and if you're listening to this in the podcast, don't worry, I'll be reading this. The headline says, "The Osmonds pay tribute to genius brother Wayne." Right, so first of all, to pay tribute to someone means to remember them with fondness or to do something to remember them after they die. To pay tribute. Okay, so we're just going to read through this story and see what comes up. All right, so I'm going to read it fast and then we'll discuss it at the end. Right, let's begin. Wayne Osmond, the founding member of family band The Osmonds, who had a string of hits in the 1970s, has died at the age of 73. Wayne was a singer and guitarist and co-wrote many of their biggest hits, including Crazy Horses, Goin' Home, and Let Me In. Wayne brought so much light, laughter, and love to everyone who knew him, especially me, wrote brother Donnie. He was the ultimate optimist and was loved by everyone. Merrill Osmond called his late brother a genius in his ability to write music, who was able to capture the hearts of millions of people and bring them closer to God. He continued, "I've never known a man that had more humility, a man with absolute no guile, an individual that was quick to forgive and had the ability to show unconditional love to everyone he ever met." Merrill and Donnie said the cause of death was a stroke. And there's a picture of them there. If you're looking at this on YouTube, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys looking very happy. From the 70s. It says the Osmonds around 1972 with Donnie at the front, Merrill at the back, and in the centre are Wayne, Jay, and Alan. Okay, the story continues. Born in August 1951 in Ogden, Utah, Wayne was the fourth oldest of 9 children and raised in a Mormon household. As a child, he started performing in a barbershop quartet with siblings Alan, Merrill, and Jay. By 1961, the Harmonizing Brothers were regular performers at Disneyland in California. A year later, they made their TV debut on the Andy Williams Show. They quickly became regulars on the show, earning the nickname One Take Osmonds because of their flawless, tirelessly rehearsed performances. Younger sibling Donnie joined the lineup in 1963, and they began to broaden their repertoire to include clean-cut pop songs. Their initial singles flopped out after the success of the Jackson 5 showed that family pop could be a commercial success. MGM Records signed the band and sent them to work at the famed R&B studio Muscle Shoals. There, they were given a song called One Bad Apple, Don't Spoil the Whole Bunch, which had originally been written for the Jacksons, but was rejected by their record label. Parky, bubbly and bright, the song topped the US singles chart for 5 weeks in 1971 and established the band as a chart presence a decade after their professional debut. And there's another picture of them here when they were on top of the pops in the UK in the 70s with Jimmy at the centre. He was the little boy. Yes. Right, the story continues. For a while, the siblings generated the same sort of fevered excitement as the Beatles. When the band flew into Heathrow Airport in 1973, 10,000 teenage fans packed the roof gardens at a nearby office block to see them arrive. Part of the balcony railing and wall collapsed amidst a crowd surge, slightly injuring 18 women. On their departure, hundreds of fans mobbed their limousine. A reporter for the New York Times said they were lucky to escape alive, while The Guardian said the scenes almost led to a ban on pop groups entering the UK via Heathrow. But pop is a fickle industry, and the Osmonds' record sales started to tail off by the mid-1970s. At the same time, Donny and Marie Osmond were offered their own TV variety show, which became a massive hit in the US and was screened by BBC One in the UK. As a result, the band went on hiatus and ultimately dissolved in 1980, although they regularly reformed for county fairs and reunion tours over the coming decades. Wayne Osmond suffered a number of health problems during his life. He was diagnosed with a brain tumour as a child, which resulted in cognitive problems. In 1994, he noticed that the condition was worsening. I noticed I couldn't play my saxophone anymore because my head would start throbbing, he later recalled, and my knees would fall out from under me when I was on stage. This all began happening within a week. The subsequent surgery and related cancer treatments resulted in significant hearing loss that persisted for the rest of his life. He also suffered a previous stroke in 2012 or 2012. Another picture of them all here. The family regularly reunited to perform on stage and on TV over the years. And this picture has the sister with them, that's Marie Osmond. In 2019, the musician joined his siblings Alan, Merrill and Jay for their final ever performance on TV show The Talk. Performing in front of a screen that showed a montage of their career highlights, the original quartet performed a song called The Last Chapter, written as a thank you to their fans. Sister Marie, who presented the show, joined them afterwards to pay tribute, saying, "I'm so honoured to be your sister. I love you guys. You've worked so hard. Enjoy your retirement." Wayne spent his retirement indulging in hobbies, including fly fishing and spending time with his family. He maintained an optimistic outlook, telling Utah newspaper Desert News that hearing loss didn't bother him. "My favourite thing now is to take care of my yard," he said. "I turn my hearing aids off, deaf as a doorknob, tune everything out. It's really joyful." He is survived by wife Kathleen and 5 children, Amy, Stephen, Gregory, Sarah and Michelle. He's also survived by his 8 siblings, Viral, Tom, Alan, Merrill, Jay, Donny, Marie and Jimmy. And that ends the text of our weekly lesson. So, this weekly lesson is all about the Osmonds. Now, let me just give you some backdrop. Backdrop just means some background information, because you might not have heard of the Osmonds. They're basically a really highly successful pop group, very similar to the Jacksons. But the difference with the Osmonds is they are actually, or they were at least, I don't know if they still are, coming from Utah. And that's known because that's where many Mormons live. The Mormons are a group of people who follow a particular religion called Mormonism, or you might know them as Latter-day Saints. It's those boys who come around and knock on your door. They're usually American with little black name badges, and they talk to you about the Book of Mormon, which they believe is an addition to the Bible. It's very interesting. Actually, there's a guy here in the UK does a podcast. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. He's recently been kicked out of the Mormon Church, and his podcast is very interesting, not because of what he says, but because he has a really beautiful voice. He has a really nice way of speaking, and if you're interested, do please listen to him. His podcast is called Nemo the Mormon, and he's a very easy man to understand, very easy to listen to. Anyway, I digress because I wanted to let you know that the Osmonds were a very famous pop group here in the UK and in America. They came from Utah in the States, and there you can see a picture of Wayne Osmond. It doesn't tell you here that Donny Osmond went on to have his own TV show with his sister Marie. It was called The Donny and Marie Show, and she has a biography as well. Very interesting people. Donny currently here in the UK in a theatre production. I think it's Wicked he's in. He's in one of the main theatre productions anyway. Let's see. So we want to just address a few issues here now that I've given you the backdrop. I want to tell you here, you can see it says in this first paragraph, Wayne Osmond, a founding member of the family, the Osmonds, who had a string of hits. So when people have more than one pop hit, more than one thing, we can say they've had a string of hits. For example, I have a string of podcasts now that I have over 1,000. I'm not sure how popular they are, but a string. Okay, so something which is well known, at least. You can say it's a string. So he had a string of hits, or they had a string of hits. Wayne was a singer and guitarist. I'm on the second paragraph now. And he co-wrote many of them. That means that he didn't write them alone. He wrote them with somebody else. The next paragraph, Wayne brought so much light, laughter, and love to everyone who knew him, especially me, wrote Brother Donny. He was the ultimate optimist and was loved by everyone. The ultimate optimist, yeah, you know Americans love that, don't they? They love to be optimistic about life. The glass is always half full in their eyes, isn't it? Merrill, who's another one of the Osmonds, says here that his brother was a genius in his ability to write music, who was able to capture the hearts of millions of people and bring them closer to God. I'm not sure about the God reference because, as far as I know, they never sang any religious music. I could be wrong there. So maybe they're just talking about how the arts lift us higher. It goes on to say here, I've never known a man that had more humility, a man with absolute no guile, an individual that was quick to forgive and had the ability to show unconditional love to everyone he ever met. Marilyn Donny said the cause of death was a stroke. Another picture there, you can see if you're looking on my video clip. And it goes on to talk about them, how they were in a quartet, that's 4 people singing, okay? And it says at the top here, born in August 1951, Wayne was the 4th oldest. Then it says that they performed in a barbershop quartet, which was quite normal, and then they were regulars at Disneyland, and then they went on to the Andy Williams show. I love the Osmonds. I think if you liked Boyzone, the Irish boy band, they had a song called Love Me For A Reason. That was a hit by the Osmonds before it was for Boyzone. Puppy Love was one of Donny Osmond's songs, which was nice, yeah. Donny was one of these teenage heartthrobs. That means someone that the girls used to like. Because if you see the picture of him here, Donny with the white teeth and the dark hair, very appealing to some people. So he went solo, but still performs with the Osmonds. And it says here, they quickly became regulars on the Andy Williams show. And they called them the one-take Osmonds because they didn't have to repeat. They just had to record everything at once in one take, as we say. Their initial singles flopped. To flop, it means to not be a success. To flop. But after the success of the Jackson 5, showing that family pop could be a commercial success, MGM Records signed the band and sent them to work. So, yeah, they became very well known, very popular here. I think when I was a boy, I had a poster of the Osmonds on my bedroom wall next to Tiffany that sang I Think We're Alone Now. Yeah. Anyway, it goes on to say they were given a song called One Bad Apple, which was written for the Jacksons but was rejected. And then it says Parky, Bubbly and Bright. Well, that just means that they were, in their body language, very, how would you say, Parky? Yeah, full of energy, full of beans, as we say. Bubbly, the same. So Parky is when you really are full of energy and upright, you know. Bubbly is when your emotions are bubbling over. And bright, a big smile. The song topped the US singles chart for 5 weeks in 1971 and established the band as a chart presence. 1971, that's a year I was born. A decade after their professional debut. But they weren't like the Beatles because they were too clean. You know, the Beatles were a bit more kind of risque, asking us to change and embrace different lifestyles. But the Osmonds were very clean cut. I liked them. Especially the sister, she was nice. Yeah, she sang Paper Roses, Marie Osmond, when she became solo as well, when she broke away from the Osmonds. I think, I've seen a concert of her recently. Yeah, I came across a concert of hers online. Very nice singer. So it says here, the siblings had generated the same sort of fevered excitement as the Beatles. The siblings. Siblings is your brothers and sisters. Okay. And it says here, 10,000 teenage fans packed the roof gardens at Heathrow Airport to watch them arrive. Yeah, they were popular. Part of the balcony railing and wall collapsed, injuring 18 women. Oh yeah, the women loved them. On the departure, hundreds of fans mobbed their limousine. A mob is a group of people who maybe don't want to harm people, but are causing danger, and to mob is also the same. A reporter for the New York Times said they were lucky to escape alive, while The Guardian said the scenes almost led to a ban on pop groups entering the UK via Heathrow. Right, so we'll leave it there, I think, and that'll give me some other phrases that I'm going to put on our YouTube clips for the rest of the week. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been our new weekly lesson, and I'll post a link and the text of this article online. Please be aware that the BBC sometimes they change stories or choose to change them when new information comes up. So even though I'm posting a link and the text I've just read, don't be surprised if a few words are different by the time you come to read this, if you're using the link, because that sometimes happens. All right. And there we are. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this, and let's talk again soon. See you. Take care. Bye.